listen to the rules and procedures that will follow for tonight's meeting. Is there anyone that would need an adjournment? Please rise and join the board to pledge allegiance. First application tonight is application 2132 of Jane Hughes. Property located in Lindenhurst. Need your name and address for the record, please.
My name is James Bowler. I'm an architect. My office address is 85 West Main Street, East Main Street in Bay Shore.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 26, 2020. Environmental control memo dated October 27, 2020. Prove this application will not result in significant impact. A survey by Donald Mound dated June 30th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map and. No, okay.
And Mr. Chairman, we have 4 pictures, and a set of plans. James Bowler, and the date is 7/17/20.
What would you like to tell us about the application?
Yes, sir. Basically the house was damaged in Superstorm Sandy and it had a second floor deck. When the house was elevated, what was now the lower level, the client wants to put a deck in on what, is the first floor living space. It's basically aligned with what's above it, which was the second floor balcony. Now it's the third level balcony that's being rebuilt. We are aligning with the edges of the house in terms of the setback. One setback is 11.7, the other setback is 7.7. It's also aligning with how far the existing deck is going out, which is 12.3 feet. So basically what she wants to rebuild her second floor deck, which she had before, obviously, but of course that was damaged by Hurricane Sandy.
Okay, so it's not going any further on that one on the west side, 7.43. The deck's not going out any further than that.
Yeah, it's staying actually at that point of the house. It's a little bit of an angle of 7.7 feet,
Okay,
and the other side is 11.7. It's aligned with the edge of the house. The house is assisted, it's an existing non-conforming.
okay.
So we're just confirming with planning that the call of the meeting is correct, that it's a second floor deck, not a first floor deck.
Yes, that is correct. That's correct, yes.
Okay. All right, any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
And there was a condition recommended by planning?
Oh, the deck, yeah. Would you agree that the decks not be further enclosed?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, I'll make a motion to approve application 2132 with the condition on the face of the CO that the decks not be further enclosed.
Second.
All in favor? Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Next application is application 2133 of Timothy Newman, property located in Wheatley Heights. Excuse
Are
me?
you the applicant? Excuse me? Are you the applicant?
Are you the applicant or do you want to be heard on the application?
I want to be heard on the applicant.
Okay, you'll get it in a minute. We're going to hear the applicant first.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the
You're
board.
going to have to speak up into that microphone. It doesn't pick up great, so,
Does it move?
no.
Okay. I'm only 4'10", so this is going to be a stretch.
Just
I'll
speak a
talk-
little
I'll
louder,
talk
okay?
loud. Good evening, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. I am Amy DeVito of Woodhull Expediting with offices at 1031 Main Street, Port Jefferson, New York. And I'm here on behalf of the applicant, the Newmans.
Okay, do you affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
You got the name?
Affidavit of posting for this?
Oh,
Yes, I
yeah.
do.
Okay, I'm sorry, Mr.
No, that's fine. Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 26, 2020. Environmental control memo dated October 27, 2020. surveyed by Connor Petito, dated March 4th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map, and
Mr. Chairman, we have 4 pictures and a set of plans from Nicholson Architecture and Design dated 4/6/20.
would you like to tell us about the application?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. My client suffered a fire in the beginning of the year, and as such, they are proposing to obtain permits to repair the fire damage and also add a front roof over porch and legalize the existing deck. The front roof over porch is just encroaching into the front yard, just 3 feet more than what's permissible by code. The purpose of the front roof over porch is really just to beautify the front of the home. Since they are doing fire damage repair, they are taking this opportunity to make the home look nicer and more suitable for their needs. I know that you guys do have the plans that Mr. Nicholson prepared. There is a page with the elevations on for those plans so that you could see what it would look like. I have a smaller version of that I could pass up to the board if you'd like to see it. Additionally, I do have some comparables that were granted by this board that are of similar relief that I'd be happy to pass up to the board as well. I believe you do have photos. I could bring those up as well as an aerial of the neighborhood, just showing similar size lots with similar encroachments, if the board would like to see those. And I am happy to answer any questions that the board may have.
Yeah, if you want to submit all of that, they become part of the record. Yeah, the secretary. I'm sorry.
Some of these, I'm not sure if they're approved, the photo didn't back it, but the top one I will for sure was approved. I did it.
Thank you so much. Okay, so the front yard setback that you're asking for is basically for a portico?
That's correct.
Increase total building area. We're increasing the total building area because,
The total building area is being increased because we're legalizing the deck, the cellar entrance, and then adding the portico over the front and the front deck.
okay, so there's a cellar entrance?
Yes,
And the south side yard, I'm assuming is,
the south side yard
Existing.
for the deck is
That-
5 feet.
that's existing, right?
Yes, that's correct.
It's right in line with the.
Yeah,
And there's a photo of the deck in the packet.
okay.
You can just,
Yeah, I'll do that.
just a small version.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Same thing, right? Yeah.
And the deck is in line with the existing house at the established setback.
Okay.
So it's not encroaching any further into the side yard setback than the actual house.
Okay. So basically, it's just repairing from fire damages. There was an inside fire, I'm assuming here, because
Yes.
nothing seems to be damaged on the outside, but it's all.
Yeah, no,
boarded up?
there was some damage. I haven't been inside because it's kind of just like locked up,
Yeah,
but you
right.
could see on the pictures, there's like tarps and, windows are all boarded. So I think there may have been some fire damage to the roof area,
Okay.
although I haven't inspected it myself,
All
so.
right,
I've
so
just
while
been-
you're doing this, you're also, or they're also fixing up the house and making it, more appealing and.
That's correct. Just, a unwarranted but necessary update.
Habitable, yes. Okay, I have no further questions. Any other questions from the board?
The deck, that was there before, it's.
Yes,
before the
it
fire?
exists. Yes, that's correct.
Everything. And the south side yard, the deck is right in line with the house?
Yes.
It doesn't come very close, okay,
Correct.
thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Need your name and address for the record?
My name is Betty James. And on the property at 33 Venetia Drive, Wheatley Heights.
Okay, and do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes.
Okay, what would you like to tell us?
Excuse me?
What would you like to tell us about the
Well, I'd
application?
like to tell you that there's only a small area of property there, and I spoke to the bank about it. Everything on the roof for that, the house that's there now winds up in my yard. Ice, whatever, is up there, slides down, whatever. It's too close, and to put a walkway in there will make it even worse. It is, that they have a lot of property on the other side to build, and it's more than 8 feet, 8 feet.
Where's your house? Is your house like the back, the side of your house is the back of their house?
No, the side of my house is the side of their house. But they only have 8 feet. And they have a lot of property on the other side, but this house that they're speaking about was built right almost on my property line. And now they're trying to squeeze in a stair and an encroachment and a walkway within that small area of space.
Oh, I see.
It's just not enough space.
Oh, they
The
asked for
builder.
an 8 to 5. Okay, I see it. Okay.
That wasn't there when I bought the house. I spoke to the bank about it, and they have a lien on the property, so they told me to come up and state the fact that they don't have the amount of property to build what they want to build.
That's why they're here, because they need a variance
Yeah.
for what they're looking to do there.
You have a fire and you come back and you want to build a whole lot of stuff, you should have looked for a house that you wanted in the first place. You haven't been there a year yet, and you get a fire and then you want to build everything and then encroach on other people. It's just not fair.
Okay. Well, it's just concrete steps. Okay, I understand.
Thank
Anything
you.
else?
All right.
Thank you.
I'm excused?
Yeah, you're excused.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Thank you. So the 8 to 5, is that's the side where the cellar entrance is, and what are we doing? We're putting is that a deck or just a landing there for a side door?
If I understood her correctly, she's actually on the right side of the house or the south side?
No,
33.
33?
I mean, the other side,
In which case, we're
the
not
other side is
building
5 feet,
anything.
not doing anything on the other side.
Right, if I'm orienting myself correctly and from memory, when I was looking at the aerials earlier, I'm pretty sure she's on the south side.
So many pieces on the north side.
North side.
This one, this was 33.
So-
All these stuff is on the north side.
So she lives here.
Yes.
So she thinks that we're
Oh,
doing,
she thinks that we're doing something on that side.
Yeah, I wish she would have stayed. Is she still here?
You know,
I wish
she,
she would have stayed to clarify, but yeah, I think she's misunderstanding. We're
Maybe,
not, I think she thinks we were proposing to build something on that side, which we're not.
You're not, there's only
No.
5 feet, there's no way to
No.
build something on that
We
side. So
couldn't fit anything.
maybe your client or somebody could reach out to
Yeah.
her and explain to her exactly what you're doing there, so that if you ease her mind that we're not coming any closer than it already exists.
Yes, I'm gonna call him when I'm finished tonight, and I'm gonna tell him to maybe, make a friendly visit over to her house just to explain.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. We're going to close the hearing, reserve decision. You'll get the decision in the mail. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Have a good evening,
You
everybody.
too. Next application is application 2130A and 2130B, property located in Amityville.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. For the record, Nicole Blanda. I'm an attorney at Bazell, Blanda and Desconti with offices at 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay,
I-
for the record, we have a planning division memo on application 2130A and 2130B, both dated October 27, 2020. Environmental control memo on both applications dated October 27, 2020. If this application is approved, it would need a negative declaration. Survey by Michael Scalise. The A, B, and overall survey, all dated May 27th, 2020. Tax map acting as an area map, and
And we have, for application A, we have one picture, and application B, we have two pictures, no plans.
what would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of Stanley Gilpin. We're seeking variances in connection with a two-lot subdivision of this oversized parcel that's on the north side of Cedar Road. We're west of East Street. The lot area is 15,000 square feet. It is zoned Residence B, which requires 10,000 square feet. It's presently improved with an existing two-story dwelling that's located wholly within tax lot 55, which is a 100 by 100-foot parcel. It's CO to that lot. There's also lot 56, which is merged with this, which is a 50-footer. There's an existing shed. If I may pair this up with the next one, so it's lot 1, lot 2.
Yes,
I think.
that-
Okay,
yeah.
great. So as part of the variance relief requested in in B, lot 2, the shed, I've discussed it with my client and I've discussed it with planning, and we would like to amend to remove the shed, which would eliminate variance number 4 on application 20-130B.
Okay,
And it would also eliminate, I believe, number 3, the total building area. Planning did a calculation. It's actually in the planning memo, which states that by eliminating the shed, we would eliminate the relief requested for that as well. So it gets rid of those 2 variances.
okay, so I will make a motion on application 2130B to eliminate the variance number 3, which is for a lot area, and number 4
Building
Which-
area.
for lot
Building
line,
area.
building area, I'm sorry. And this number 4 for lot line.
Second,
All in favor?
No,
Thank you. So then just moving forward, so we're proposing to maintain the existing dwelling in its current location. And that's really the reason why the applicant is requesting to put the lot line where we're proposing it, which is to make a 60-footer and a 90-footer, because the house is in good shape. He wants to maintain the dwelling. To knock it down just didn't make sense to him. So we're proposing lot 1 would have 9,000 square feet with 90 feet of frontage. The frontage complies with zoning. It does need a variance from 10,000 square feet to 9,000 square feet. And the rear yard is an existing condition that requires a variance from 25 feet to 22 feet. So that's minimal variance relief requested in connection with the existing dwelling. Lot 2, we're proposing to have 60 feet of frontage and 6,000 square feet. The home itself was designed specifically to meet all the setbacks. So we have a 30-foot front yard, 30-foot total side yard, individuals of 12 and 18 feet, and a rear yard of 26 feet. This would be a brand new 2-story home, single-family dwelling, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, with an internal garage. Again, we'd be removing the shed. There are some prior approvals in the area. I have them here. They're old. I'm not going to say that they're not. They're from, well, I hate to say they're old. They're from the 90s because that makes me feel old. But in any event,
I think it makes me feel.
there's one for tax lot 59, which was a 50-foot parcel. There are some subdivision approvals. They are for 75 footers, but it's again, a 150 by 100, and we're trying to save the house. So I'm just going to pass up the prior approvals and the CO for the house. Thank you. There are other smaller size lots in the area. We don't believe this will have a detriment to the area, and we do believe it's in character. We would comply with all the covenants. I've gone over the covenants with my client, and he would consent to single-family dwelling, owner occupied, no accessory apartment, et cetera. If the board has any questions, I'd be more than happy to answer them, or if I need to repeat any information, I'd be more than happy to do so.
So this is going to be a 60-foot lot now, the one with the new house on it, right? 60-foot frontage?
Correct. So it's different from, I believe there was a prior application. I was not involved. They were seeking a 50-footer at that time. So the difference, and some setback variances. The difference here is this would be a 60-footer, and we comply with all the setbacks.
Okay, so it was here, we denied it, I'm assuming?
That's my understanding, yes.
So you went back to the drawing board and you came up with a 60-footer instead?
Yeah, I think it went to the county, and my client acquired it from the county. Like, something happened in between. I think this board denied the 50-footer back in like 2017.
Okay,
My client purchased it relatively recently, and I advised him, to come back with a substantially different application.
okay. All right, I don't have any questions from the board.
I'm looking at the overhead here. Is any of those trees, it looks like it's a very well treed lot. They gonna be able to save those?
He would save anything he could. I believe he could walk it with either the town engineer or whoever planning designated to walk it, and they would do a mark out.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? Name and address for the record, please.
Yes, my name is Jennifer Brown, and I live at 50 Cedar Road. And I will very happy to see a building construct there.
Do you affirm to tell the truth?
Yes, I swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth. That piece of property, if it hasn't been constructed, nothing has been built there, it will just serve as a dumping ground. So I'll be very happy to see a building construct there.
Okay.
Can I ask your last name again, please?
Last name is Brown.
Thank you.
Anything else?
Well, so far.
Okay, thank you.
I'm very happy to see something, a building
Good, glad
construct.
to hear that. Would anyone else like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. So we can't, okay. So I'm going to make a motion to adopt a negative declaration on applications 130A and 130B.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and I'm going to make a motion to approve applications 2130B, 2130A. Do you agree to all the covenants, normal covenants, restrictions, and conditions?
All the normal covenants and restrictions, absolutely.
With all the covenants and restrictions
All
and
the things.
conditions on the planning memos dated October 27th.
And you're just adopting as amended.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, second, I get a second?
second,
All in favor?
aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming down. Next, no, you're here for the next one. too?
Still got me.
Next application is applications 136A and 136B, property located in West Babylon.
Same appearance, Nicole Blanda, 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
Okay, for the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 27th on application 2136A and B. We have an environmental control memo for October 27th, 2020 on both applications. And again, this would require a negative declaration. Let's see what else we got here. We have a survey by William Simmons dated August 17th, 2017 on the A application. Same date, also by William Simmons on the B application. We have a tax map acting as an area map. And
And Mr. Chairman, we have a set of plans from Tech Design Group dated 6/8/19.
they didn't submit an overall on this, or we don't have it.
You don't have one? I mean, it would have been. Do you want me to give you one?
Yeah, if you have it, I appreciate it. I'll give it back to you if you need it.
That's fine. We usually submit like 20 of them.
Okay. What'd you like to tell us about the application?
So this parcel went through planning review. It went through planning board and town board. So town board rezoned this parcel from business E to residence C back in August. And we had our planning board hearing a while ago, and they, I believe, approved the subdivision on September 14th, 2020, pending variances, of course. So this was previously a business E zone property. It was upzoned to residence C. It's, as you can see, on the southwest corner of 3rd Avenue and 9th Street. It has a lot area of 14,000 square feet, and it's presently improved with a 1.5-story single-family dwelling that fronts on 3rd Avenue and has a driveway there. What we are here tonight for is to subdivide the property into 2 lots. We would maintain the existing home and construct a new 2-story single-family dwelling on the parcel that would front on 9th Street. So lot 1 would have 65 feet of frontage, and now keep in mind it's residence C. It's no longer business E. So it would have 65 feet of frontage on 9th Street and a lot area of 6,500 square feet. The home fits the lot, so no other variances are required. We meet all the setbacks. Lot 2, which is the one with the existing house that fronts on 3rd Avenue, would comply fully with frontage and lot area. So we have 75 feet and 7,500 square feet. The front yard setbacks, because it's a corner lot, are existing conditions. So we're seeking to go from 30 feet required to 27.3 feet on 9th Street and 20.9 feet on 3rd Avenue. And then this generates, because of the subdivision line, it would generate a rear yard variance of 9.5 feet provided because of the new lot line that we are proposing. The new home would have 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths with an internal garage. To the north and east of the property are residence C properties that have dwellings on them. To the immediate south is an auto sales and service center. That property is zoned business E. It's a weird little enclave over here. To the west are residential homes on business E zone properties. Those are 270 footers. They have decimal points, so I do believe they were subdivided at some point into 70 by 100s. Across 9th Street, lot 31 is a 60 footer. As you travel east on 9th Street, as you go through the aerial, you'll see 5 60 footers on the south side. On the north side, there's a 65 footer and a 75 footer. So it's really a kind of a hodgepodge area in terms of size of lots. But again, it was rezoned to residence C. It makes sense from a planning perspective to have this be a residential area. And so we're just proposing to add another single family home there. And we would agree to all the covenants.
Okay, thank you. Turn hearing over to Mr. Weintraub.
I have no questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? The record, there are none. But I'm assuming-
Yeah, there's no amendments happening.
No, nothing else.
And you do agree to all the covenant restrictions for both properties?
Yes.
Okay. Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application.
Oh, it needs an egg deck, I'm
Thank
sorry.
you.
I'll make a motion to adopt a negative declaration for applications 2136B and 2136A.
Second.
All in favor?
All right,
Thank you.
ready?
Yeah.
Okay, I will make a motion to approve application 20-136A and 136B with a condition to be noted on the front of the CO that all the covenant restrictions will be complied with.
Second. All in favor?
All right,
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
You need it back?
Do you want it for the file?
I don't know, do we have one in the file?
No.
An overall? We
Then,
don't.
then keep it. I
Okay,
can always get
thanks.
another one. Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, she's still here. Next application is application 2129 of Alderland LLC, property located in Deer Park.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman. Nicole Blanda, Bazell Blanda Visconti, 535 Broad Hollow Road in Melville.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 27, 2020. Environmental control memo dated October 27, 2020. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Suffolk County Planning Memo dated October 15, 2020. Decision of local termination. Take no position for or against. A set of plans by George Badger dated, last dated August 17th, 20. Tax map acting as an area map and so, what would you like to tell us about the application?
I'm here tonight on behalf of Artelon LLC, which is the owner and applicant. The principal, Ms. Ruth Pierre, is here with me tonight as well. We are seeking variances in connection with a one-story medical office building to be used as a wellness center, which would provide various services such as acupuncture, nutrition, and massage, just to name a few. We did appear before the planning board and we received our site plan approval last Monday night, actually, based upon getting all the comments resolved and getting a final determination on our curb cut. The property is located on the west side of Deer Park Avenue. It has a lot area of 12,800 square feet and it is zoned Business E. We are proposing a 2,030 square foot, one-story building. And again, it would handle acupuncture, massage therapy, body treatments. They deal with lupus patients. They deal with cancer patients, MS patients. So they provide some great services. The site would have a curb cut for ingress and egress right on Deer Park Avenue. The application, the variances are interesting to me because the application actually went through extensive departmental review and comments and basically 3 iterations. And it sort of caused us to generate our parking variance. And so I'd like to explain that to the board since planning is asking for us to justify it. So when we first filed, we complied with parking. We were required to have 18 spaces and we were providing 18 spaces. And it's also important to keep in mind that storage generates a parking space. So 1.45 of these spaces is storage related. I think we all know that storage doesn't really need to park a car. We're seeking now 18 required and we're providing 15. So our second iteration had the building pushed further front so we could provide a different rear yard setback. So instead of originally providing, I think we were at 5.5 feet, we were asked to provide a bigger buffer to the neighbors, which is totally understandable. However, we lost a couple of spaces. So at that point, by flipping the building in a certain direction and adding the buffer, we were at providing 16 spaces. So we were down 2. And then we were asked, and again, reasonable request, but I just need to explain why we're here for the variance. We were asked to increase the curb cut on Deer Park Avenue. So in other words, the DOT had already approved our width, which I believe was 24 feet. And we were asked to comply with town specs, which would have us at 35. So we went back to the DOT to see if that would be okay. They gave their approval, but it knocked another space off our site. So that's why we're here requesting that we're only providing 15 spaces versus 18. We would have liked to have provided more, but we understand that sometimes it's a balancing act. And so we're just trying to do the best we can. However, so that the board understands, there's 3 employees and there's 8 client rooms. So at any given time, one therapist is a receptionist, there's a therapist, and there's an acupuncturist. And they basically they could service 3 or 4 people at a time. So even if they're full, even if all the rooms are full and you have the 3 employees on site, that's 11, you still have 4 spaces for people that might be coming or going. So the applicant is fully confident that her site will be well parked and that she's not going to have any issues with that. And she can schedule accordingly as well. The rear yard setback, again, we're going from 50 feet to 14 feet. It's really the nature of the shape and the size of the parcel. And we did increase the buffer from the original 5.5 feet that we were providing to 14 feet. It provides a nice landscaped area in the back. She has an existing office down the road, and she's really looking forward to opening up her own business and constructing this building on this site and having a successful business for herself. So if the board has any questions, my architect is here tonight, Ms. Pierre is here tonight. We'd be happy to answer them.
Okay, thank you. Turn hearing over to Mr. Correggio.
You basically answered all my questions. The only other question I have is hours of operation.
Sure, I have that written on one of these many papers that I have. So Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 1 PM, and then a break, and then 2 PM to 7 PM. Saturdays and Sundays from 8 to 12. And I have Saturday from 8 to 12, and then 8 to 2, and then Sunday from 8 to 11
Okay. thank you.
AM.
No further questions, Mr. Chairman.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Chairman, I make a motion to approve application number 20-129.
Seconded by
Second,
Dolores.
Lewis. All in favor?
Aye.
I'm really leaving this time. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.
You
Good
too,
job.
thank you.
Sorry you have to leave.
Next application is application 2137 of 500 West Main Street LLC. Property located in West Babylon. Although it says Babylon.
Well, it's about 11702. That's why it's bad.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman.
Name and address for the record.
My name is Pelops Damianos. My offices are located at 222 Middle Country Road, third floor, Suite 300, Smithtown, New York, 11787.
For the record, we have a planning division memo dated October 27th, 2020. Environmental control memo dated October 27th, 2020. If approved, this application will not result in significant impact. Suffolk County Planning memo dated October 15th, 2020. Decision of local determination, take no position for or against. Survey by John Minto dated January 7th, 2014. Tax map acting as an area map. And
Chairman, we have 5 pictures and a set of plans by Mancini Maui Architecture dated 9/4/20.
would you like to tell us about the application?
First off, this young lady was asking for the spelling of my last name.
Okay,
It's
go ahead.
Damianos. Yeah, I'll bring it to you.
A hard time.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, members of the Board of Zoning Appeals,
And
good
I'm
evening.
sorry, sir, just speaking to the microphone.
You're gonna have to, yeah, it doesn't pick up well.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman and members of the Zoning Board of Appeals, good evening, and thank you for hearing my application today. Again, my name is Pelops Damianos, principal of 500 West Main Street LLC, the applicant, where our corporate office is located at 222 Middle Country Road in Smithtown, New York. I am accompanied this evening by my professional engineer, Mr. Dan Falasco, Daniel R. Falasco, PEPC, with his office is located at 94 Steuben Boulevard in Wisconsin, New York, 11767. I'd like to take a moment to share the following with the board. My family and I have been continuously been commercial landlords for over 52 years here on Long Island, both in Nassau and in Suffolk County primarily. We pride ourselves on reputation. We currently have commercial rental properties consisting of retail shopping centers, power centers, professional and medical office buildings, and professional and medical condominium complexes located in Stony Brook, Setauket, Port Jefferson Station, Patchogue, Center Moriches, Shirley, Islandia, and Smithtown, to name a few. I would like to share with the board that we also own the 400 building on the intersection of Route 109 and Montauk Highway in the village of Babylon for well over 40 years since the purchase by my father in 1978. We are proud of all of our projects, and every single one of them have been successful. While we don't perform as much ground-up construction as we have in the past. We specialize in turning around troubled, underperforming assets. As a brief recap, we had purchased the 500 West Main Street building roughly 2 decades ago, back in 2000. The building was formerly a vacant, single-tenanted Verizon building at our inception of ownership. In so transforming the building to that of a multi-tenanted medical and professional building, we were granted a 75% medical usage and a 25% professional office usage, with a parking variance by that of the ZBA in June of 2000. Dan Velasco shall speak to this in detail in a moment. With our know-how, hard work, and capital, we have turned this troubled asset into real estate that we, the town, and the village and the surrounding communities as involved in can all be proud of. The climate of the South Shore rental market has been primarily medical and medically related services, more so than that of professional usages, given its proximity to the surrounding hospitals. Please know that our existing tenants of the building are desirous of expansion. New medical modalities, mergers and acquisitions, and affiliations to that of institutional facilities such as United Healthcare, Northwell Health, ProHealth, Catholic Health Services, and others of the like have consistently demonstrated that outsourcing of its off-site centralized clerical, billing, and frontline call centers are thus reducing the need for ancillary staffing at the site. This, coupled with telemedicine as of late, have certainly been citable items to be mentioned, emphasizing less foot traffic. Given our numerous other surrounding medical buildings of similar square footage and land size when compared to this, the 500 building, we, in our estimation, feel that this application requesting 100% medical use and parking relief is both warranted and appropriate, as evidenced over the past 20 years of history at the site. We would never ask for something that would create a situation for us, our tenants, or you, the town. We have not, nor we have ever demonstrated any parking-related issues in the past 2 decades. Recent internal studies show that the parking lot is presently being used at less than half of its capacity. Again, Dan shall speak to this in detail in a moment. Please give us the tools we need to continue to keep this building successful and competitive with other buildings in the area. Help us give the community and our tenants what they obviously desire. Please grant these request items. So we need to proceed to send a clear signal to that the town of Babylon will work with property owners for all the right reasons. Thank you for your time and consideration. I'm available for any questions that you may have or may wish to pose after that of Mr. Velasco's presentation. At this juncture, I'd like to introduce Dan Velasco.
Thank you so much.
Good
Name and
evening,
address for the
Mr. Chairman. Oh, I'm sorry.
Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Daniel Velasco, professional engineer of the offices Daniel R. Velasco, PEPC. Address is 94 Steuben Boulevard, Nesconset, New York.
Okay. You affirm to tell the truth?
I do.
Okay, would you like to tell us?
First of all, I'd like to say that I did read the memorandum presented by the Planning Division, and I concur with all of the findings in there. I think there were specifically concerns about whether or not we actually have the right number of additional parking spaces that we are asking for. If you recall, the 2000 application had a requirement of, excuse me, it's hard to,
Yeah.
they fog up. The 2000 application, I believe, had 323 parking stalls required, and this application has 326. The difference is only 3 parking stalls, and the question posed by planning is appropriate. How could we convert another space and only require 3 medical staff? The reason for that is that the original application in 2000 was on a vacant building with a lot of estimation. Today's application is based on fact. We did actual counts of medical staff at each of the existing tenants in the building. So the actual amount of tenant space is below that was projected in 2000. We then added to that this particular use. So that's why we only have a net gain of 3. In order to further the presentation, I'd like to hand up what I am labeling or calling Exhibit 1. I have enough copies for each of the members. Should I just hand it up to, and then she can pass them out? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Before you is exhibit number 1. On the left-hand side of the exhibit is the Wells Fargo existing space. That tenant is leaving, and that is the space that we wish to expand into with medical use. On the right-hand side is the layout that was before you, that was part of the plan that was presented by Mancini Architect. You have the full version of that. This is only that portion of it that aligns with the Wells Fargo space. What this is showing clearly is that the Wells Fargo space was actually much more densely developed with many offices, many places for people to come in and work on their Wells Fargo activities. On the right-hand side, you'll see the medical space that we're asking for. There's rooms, but a lot of those rooms are with big equipment and don't necessarily take up the room that maybe the medical staff would have taken up in the 2000 application. I'd also like to hand up at this time a parking analysis that was performed at the site. Again, I have enough copies. For everybody? We performed a parking analysis last week, starting on Monday and ending on Friday, and every hour on the hour, we went through the site and counted how many parking spaces were available at that particular time. In its worst case scenario, and that occurred at 1 o'clock on Monday, there were 82 vacant spaces at the site. We then turned around and made a slight adjustment, as you can see on the right-hand side of this exhibit. There is a space at the site that is vacant. It's approximately 1,500 square feet. So we adjusted the 82 available parking spaces down by 10, 1,500 square feet divided by your requirement of 150 square foot per space, and came up that there are actually 72 parking spaces available at the worst case scenario. And we feel that that is more than sufficient to handle the existing request that we have to make the entire site medical use. That basically is my presentation. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer them.
Turn the hearing over to Mr. Weinstein.
Thank you. So how many more employees are, rather than what, are there going to be more employees here than what Wells Fargo? Had?
No, Wells Fargo had a lot more staff members at the site. The medical staff, and Wells Fargo, you don't count as staff members in your parking calculations.
Right.
We estimate that there'll probably be about 8 or 9 medical staff members in this space. However, that's offset by the less amount that are in the other spaces based on actual count as opposed to the 2,000 projected amount, because at that time the building was vacant.
Yeah, my wife's eye doctor's in this building, and it's hard finding a parking spot. convenient to the front doors. And
Oh, there's no doubt
there
about
are-
that. The parking is in the rear of the building. That's where most of the parking space, my accountant is in the building. And I usually find a spot on the side, but, you know, when you
Yeah.
leave the site and you drive around the back, you'll see that there's vacant spots.
Okay. So you're saying that in the medical staff will be about 8 or 9 people total?
Yeah.
Is that?
Mhm.
And how many, is it going, the hours of operation will be,
Monday through Friday, 9 to 5.
oh, okay, so it'll be one shift?
Mhm.
Okay. I have no further questions.
Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none.
Yeah. Okay, Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve application 20-137.
Second.
All in favor?
All right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Next application, 2093, property located in Lindenhurst. Name and address for the record.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Anthony Curcio, Brown, Ullman, and DeLeo, 538 Broad Hollow Road, Suite 301, Melville, New York, 11747.
Okay. For the record, we have a planning division memo dated August 19th, 2020, and updated to October 28th, 2020. Department of Environmental Control memo dated October 27th, 2020. Suffolk County Planning memo dated August 10th, 2020. Decision of local determination. Take no position for or against. Survey by Jack Allison Hall dated December 29th, 2008. Tax map acting as an area map and
Chairman, we have a site plan from T Civil Engineering dated yeah, 127/20.
would you like to tell us about the application?
As a matter of housekeeping, all postings were performed in compliance with town code on October 17, 2020. The affidavit of posting, along with pictures evidencing said posting, was submitted to the ZBA secretary on October 22nd, 2020. The applicant was previously before this board on August 20th, 2020, where at that hearing, the applicant requested to vary the required off-street parking requirement from 35 parking spaces to 25 in connection with the existing medical building. Also in connection with the parking variance request, the applicant also requested that the prior condition limiting the amount of medical personnel to 4 medical personnel be amended to permit 11 medical personnel. Subsequent to that hearing, the applicant received a decision of the board approved at the September 10th, 2020 meeting and filed with the town clerk's office on September 29th, 2020. The approval granted the aforementioned parking variance for, quote, diminished off-street parking from 35 parking spaces to 25 parking spaces, end quote. However, the requested amendment to the condition limiting the amount of medical personnel from 4 to 11 was not included as part of the board's written decision. As this board is aware, but for the applicant's requested increase in the medical personnel from 4 to 11 medical personnel, the parking variance requested at the August 20th hearing would not have been necessary, as the town's parking calculation is correlated to the amount of personnel permitted to work at the premises. As such, we respectfully request that this board amend the prior written decision to include a limit of 11 medical personnel as originally intended. On behalf of my client, thank you for your time and attention. I can answer any questions the board may have.
Okay, so basically this is housekeeping.
Yes.
Okay, we already went through everything with the, what was happening here and how it was going to happen and everything else. So
That is
I'm not
correct.
going to go through all of that again, so. Any other questions from the board? Would anyone like to be heard on this application? For the record, there are none. Okay, I will make a motion to approve application 2093 as amended.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Problem with full hearings, huh?
Hey Dolores, how are you? How are you? How- Jimmy Jack, Jimmy Jack.
Good evening, everyone. Dolores, I'm so sorry you were at Tanner Park. You were ready to go, huh?
Right?
So sorry.
Saying that there's no one coming.
No,
Well, when I
that's-
got here, there was nobody here, and I'm like, am I supposed to be at Tanner Park?
So I guess I'm the only one that checked the
Public notice?
public notice.
Public
huh?
notice. Okay. November 12th, we're at Tanner Park.
November 12th, we're at Tanner Park.
Okay. So
And
moving
that's
on
the public
to,
Notice I saw.
did the board want to revisit anything from this evening?
We held this one, why did we hold this one? Oh, yeah, no, there was, yeah, and, you know, it was the opposite side where they're not doing anything. So that's, I'll make a motion to approve application 2133.
There were,
There's an
Proposed
ask of,
conditions?
yeah, that the front porch and rear deck not be further, with a condition that the front porch and the rear deck not be further enclosed.
Second.
All in favor?
okay, thank you. Then moving on to the request for an extension of time.
I will make a motion to approve the extension of time and application 18092. This is the fourth extension of time for a period of 6 months.
A second.
Thank you. Everything on page 8 remains reserved, and everything on page 9 remains reserved. But we are down to only 2 pages of reserved applications. So that will bring us to correspondence in the board's packet. So please see the email that should be in your correspondence. It is item number 1 from Council Nicole Blanda. The aerial is on your screens. This was the application of Mercedes Reed. Nicole Blanda is representing the contract vendee who is proposing to build a house. So you will recall this is an undersized lot that the board had recommended to be referred to council for written findings. The communication from Ms. Blanda is asking the board to reconsider that application if substantial changes are made to not require the variances other than the total lot area because of the size of the lot. Because the lot is presented as a triangle, there is no way to make the lot size any bigger. It was found that this property is single and separate, so that does diminish the required lot size from 10,000 square feet to 6,000 square feet. So it is my understanding that council is asking if the board would contemplate this application, should they revise their plans to only have the one variance being the diminish the lot size from 6,000 to 4,897 square feet. It is a lot to absorb. It's whatever the board's prerogative might be to consider, not consider, to visit, to.
What were the other variances on there?
It's on the page 10 of your agenda
Oh,
is
sorry.
what's,
Look.
and Council's background goes through surrounding properties with similar sizes and previous relaxations granted by the board.
Okay, so they're going to eliminate all of them except for lot size, lot area. Okay.
I'll see if I can put it off for a week.
I'll put it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you don't mind.
I don't have the correspondence right in front of me, so am I presenting it correctly? Am I,
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, because there's more involved in this than just the lot size. It's the shape of the thing.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So again, it is the board's prerogative and, you know, there is no
Well, see if
decision
any-
required at this time. It is for your consideration of the new testimony that was not presented at the time of the hearing. In other
Right.
words, the prior board action from similar and surrounding lots.
Well, I'm
I
gonna-
don't believe was included as part of the original
I'm
application.
going to go on Google Earth and see these other properties and see if there's anything that comes close to this. So, okay, thank you.
Okay. So we'll hold this, okay? Until the next meeting.
Okay, then the minutes of October 1st are back for your review. They would be adopted at the meeting of November 12th. And that is all there is on the board's agenda tonight.
Okay.
No, I think I have it in there. I just didn't pull it out.
Pam, I have one in here that was a no-show. Was that last week? Oh, no, September 28th. I know, it's too late, it's a while ago.
Which one is that? 'Cause I don't know.
Amy Mullen, Salentary, West Babylon. Do we ever do anything with that?
I don't see it on the agenda.
Okay.
Elementary. No, I think that we heard this one.
We
So,
heard that?
so she will probably have to get pulled off and then re-advertised.
Yeah,
Oh,
maybe that
okay,
was
maybe
it.
that's what it is.
Yeah.
Right, so
Okay,
have to be renoticed.
okay. I just had it in here, so I'm trying to get it out of here so it don't confuse me.
Would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
We're adjourned. Thank you.